Get the Hitlers come out. All right. Okay, so you're not recording yet, so our audience is going to hear, so I'm just going to repeat what you just said to me. You hawked a loogie all over your keyboard. Oh my god. What a mess. I kind of wish I had a webcam on right now. Okay, before we get into a one-side conversation here, record in 3, 2, 1, record.
Sorry, I don't mean to get racist right away into the podcast. I just got racist into the podcast. I say that while I am wiping Hitler's cum off of my keyboard right now.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Gotta be careful with that stuff. It gets in everywhere and just takes hold and just seeps into all the crevices of your keyboard.
Oh, geez. Can you imagine, can you just imagine the keyboards of some people? Just as, they popped all the keys off, and it's just, they have, a beige keyboard, but it's brown underneath. It's like they got the stock beige keyboard from, 15 years ago.
It's like when you cut down a tree and you look at the rings and you go, oh, and here in 1946 there was a forest fire.
Yeah, you pop off the F key and it's like, oh, this is where he jacked off the fucking Amy Rose back in 2009. Oh my god, yeah, that I did not. I was just sort of okay. So what happened was before we start recording, we both clear our throats. And I have a little game where I try to be louder than in bullshit. And in doing so, because I'm also sick, just this giant, gross-ass loogie just flew out from the depths of my fucking lungs and landed right on my keyboard. Yeah.
It was just this unintentional expelling of lung fluid.
Yeah. I did not intend for that to happen. I didn't even feel it come out. It just sort of flew out.
Oh my god.
It was like a little organism trying to escape.
It was like the alien coming out the wrong tube.
So I did want to get your opinion on this, and I'll include it in the show notes as well. This is a not safe for work link, but this is something I've wanted to point out to various not safe for work artists, about how they draw certain things in their artwork and stuff, and I want to see what your take on this is. So I'm going to go ahead and link it to you in the Discord chat. Now, I wanted to ask you, if you ignore the sopping, wet, dripping vagina and just move your gaze over to where that mysterious hand looks like it's got a lock onto a mound of bread dough.
Okay, so what you're referring to is the and you can link this in the show notes so everyone can see it. It is a not safe for work link.
Yeah.
You're referring to the trend with artists, particularly Japanese artists, to portray either breasts or ass cheeks as these extraordinarily soft, almost memory foam-like substances that you can literally sink your fingers into because they're so squishy, because these artists don't understand how fat works.
Yes, exactly. This is what I think these artists tend to forget is that it's not just fat, there's also muscle in there. Like, if you were to try to do that move with your own ass, right now I'm literally grabbing my ass. It doesn't do that. It doesn't do that.
Your ass doesn't work like that.
No, I've grabbed many an ass before, and I've never seen an ass do that. In fact, if I did see an ass do that, I would be very concerned.
I would be concerned for that person's health. They should probably get that. See, now you were going to ask my opinion on this, and I'm going to be honest with you. Like, ever since I saw that this was the thing, particularly with breasts, like, how they draw it like this, I don't think of bread dough. I literally think of memory foam, and then I get angry because I remember how expensive memory foam mattresses are and how badly I want one. And I just get annoyed because like I'm due for a new mattress. I have a very comfortable pillow top mattress that is starting to get old, and I have to get a pillow top one because I sleep on my side. And I have always wanted a memory foam mattress because they're perfect for side sleepers. And I just, every time I'm reminded that I don't have enough money for one of those, I get mad. So every time I see like any artist, whether it's actually pornographic or whether it's just, risque, and they're doing this sort of grabbing thing where they're grabbing onto fat, like if it's a picture of a chubby woman, they're grabbing onto her fat folds or her butt or whatever, her breasts, I get mad. I get mad when I see that, but it's not because it's terrible art. I just get mad because I don't have a memory foam mattress.
That's I wasn't expecting you to go that way.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's fucking stupid art style, but more to the point, I get angry because of my mattress.
In other news, I just you ever like go into like a project and you think you're doing really good, you're getting far into it, and then you have a realization that the project looks like something you didn't intend to, or is something you didn't intend to, so you just give up on it?
All the time.
Yeah. Well, I was drawing this picture of one of my characters, Feminubis, and I wanted to try to get her from a different angle, like as if she was kneeling on the ground, like kneeling on the floor and like looking up at you. Not like it wasn't going to be like pornographic or anything, just I wanted to try that position. So I drew it, and here it's on my art Tumblr. If you follow my art Tumblr, you'll see it, but I'll show you and bullshit. And I'm going to ask you, what of this picture do you think made me stop and say, I'm not going to finish this?
Is it the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer nose at the end of the snout?
Well, she's always had sort of a slightly bulbous nose, but what I realized from this angle is that if she's looking at you from this angle, she looks like a womble.
Oh, you're right. She does.
She does look like a womble.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just going to redo this. I'm going to change the angle so she's looking more head on towards it, more head on instead of looking up. Because, once somebody told me she looks like a womble, I just could not get that out of my fucking head.
You got so mad, you were like, no.
No.
That's like whenever
I will not draw a womble with giant tits.
That's like whenever I'm working on a music project, and I send it to someone, and it's usually one friend in particular of mine who I've been friends with, who's listened to a lot of my music, and I'll be like, hey, I'm working on this thing, what do you think? And he'll listen to it, and then 5 minutes later he'll be like, oh man, this reminds me just of, and then if he says it reminds him of an artist that I particularly detest but haven't told him that, I get really disappointed in myself, and then I stop.
Well, see, with me in particular with this one, it's you took something that's not sexual, that I did not expect to be sexual, that I never intended to be sexual, and you made it sexual. And now it's just like, okay, this piece of artwork stops right here. I'm gonna do something else. If you want to go look at it, it's on my art Tumblr. I'll link it at the end of the show. So, but yeah, other than that, what else has happened? Today, on the 6th, YouTube, or was it yesterday? It was either yesterday or today. YouTube TV launched, which is YouTube sort of like direct competitor to cable cable packages and stuff. It's supposed to be super cheap. You get like 50 channels, and you get like a DVR with infinite space that you can access from anywhere with just about any device. So they launched it, and they sent me an email, that basically read, because once they announced it, I signed up for it because I wanted to get it, because I haven't had cable in years, and I would like to have something like cable but not pay like $150 a month.
Yeah, but not get cable because it's fucking expensive, yeah.
Yeah, so I signed up for them to let me know when it launches so I can get it. So it launched, and they sent me an email saying, congratulations, YouTube TV is launched, and it's not in your city yet. We'll let you know when it's in your city. And I'm like, that was a very pointless email.
Thanks for that, you bastards.
Yeah, thank you for telling me I can't have this thing yet.
It's not in your city yet? Oh
Yeah.
my god.
It's like, okay, yes, I know I live where I live. You don't need to remind me. And why bother telling me this? I already know. It's like, come on.
Yes, I'm aware that I don't have it, you fuckers.
Yeah, so that's been my week. Well, aside from being horribly sick, which is just something that happens. You just you just deal with it. You take a bunch of Theraflu with alcohol in it, and you have fever dreams in your sleep, and then you wake up, sweaty and achy and buzzed and tired, and you just don't know what the hell's going on with your life. You wake up in the middle of the night in another dimension, and you go to pee, and you're not sure if you're peeing in a toilet or a sink or on your dog. You just don't know. It could be anywhere. You could be in the Andromeda Galaxy pissing on Blue Shrek's face. Video game reference. I hope all my nerds got it. So what's up? What's been up with you? What have you been doing?
Well, primarily, I've been doing what my main topic that I forwarded for today's episode.
Okay, besides that. I'm pretty sure you did other things.
But besides that, I did finish up Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yay!
And it was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. I don't really feel the need to do another episode where I talk about it, because at this point I feel, you know what, just go out and buy the game. If you don't have a PlayStation 4, go out and watch a Let's Play. There are at least 5 good ones I've seen on YouTube. I put down Mass Effect Andromeda because I hit the Nexus bug, and if you don't know what the Nexus bug is, you can look it up. It's a game-breaking bug that makes it impossible for you to progress in your game. And I decided that I was going to put it down until it was patched, and then it took so long to be patched that Persona 5 came out.
And you're just like, okay, Persona 5
And I was
time.
just like, okay, bye, BioWare. Time for me to do something I've been really looking forward to.
Well, let me just say really quick, because you mentioned Horizon Zero Dawn. I've been getting more into Nier Automata. I'm about 15 hours in. Yes, I know I'm slow. But yeah, I'm not going to say much about it. I want to wait until Bullshit is played through it so we can talk about it together. At least through the first playthrough.
Through at least one playthrough, yeah.
Yeah. And but what I will say right now is that if you think 9S is annoying or a little bitch or whatever, just hold off on that opinion. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. Let me just what I will say is that people who think 9S is like an annoying little bitch have either never played it or only have played through the first time. And that's all I'll say. So, continue, please.
But yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been doing because all my other time has been spent either raiding in WildStar, which I have always been doing for the past 3 years now, and being at work. Because my new job is, between 45 and 55 hours a week, so that's where my life went. And
Now
that's
you know
going,
how it feels like to be me.
yeah, and that's going pretty good though. I wouldn't say I'm enjoying the job, but I'm definitely not hating it, and it's definitely making a lot more money than the previous job that I had. So, pluses all around. I will say this though, working in customer service and sales fucking sucks. I hate it. But I already did an episode about that, and that's that.
I want to do. I want to make this a thing where every episode we get to ask him bullshit. What was the worst thing you found in a car so far?
Let's see. What's the worst thing I found in a car so far? For reference, of course, I work for Hertz Rental Cars, and my day-to-day job is processing rentals, getting people in and out of rental cars, of course, cleaning rental cars, washing rental cars, picking up customers, and all that stuff. What is the worst thing I found while cleaning a car? Oh, man. I want to say the worst thing I found while cleaning a car was somebody had left a coffee mug with something in it that had turned into a gelatinous blob and smelled like rotten flesh. That was pretty gross.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's gross.
And of course that wasn't the only thing that was that particular car. We actually wrote the word wrote the words "absolutely fucked" on the key tag because it was so filthy, and it also came back with 3 flat tires.
What?
Yeah, no. This customer who had rented this car had just wrecked the car inside and out. It was
How long did they have it?
I don't know. It wasn't my rental. I didn't process it. But I would say more likely than not more than a month at least. And it was so disgusting that, and the problem was none of us wanted to clean it, and we all decided when it came back that we were going to send it to the detail area, which is there's a location in another city where they do upholstery. Because like when we clean cars, we we disinfect it, right? We take out the fucking disinfecting wipes and we wipe the doors down and all that shit. We vacuum, but stuff like stains in the upholstery, like we don't have the equipment or the people to take those out. So when there's like stains and stuff, we have to send the car to another place. And this one had fucking stains in it. It was disgusting. And the whole car just smelled awful on the inside. And we decided when it came back that we weren't going to clean it because it was fucking disgusting, and we weren't paid to do that kind of shit, and there were also stains everywhere. So we're like, okay, we're just gonna roll it to the detail lot, and they can clean it because they have guys there that's their fucking job to do that, and they get vomit in cars, so they're going to be used to this shit. But the problem was, and this was a couple weeks ago actually, the problem was it had 3 flat tires.
Oh shit.
So we had to get it towed to a tire company to replace the tires. And that took about a week. And this was the point at which it was really hot. And the tire guys, they didn't ever have to go inside the car. They just pushed it around, And so all the shit in there cooked. And so just last week, my manager's like, hey, we have a car at the tire place. Can you go and get it? And by this point, we had all completely forgotten about this car. Because it was like you process so many cars every day, like even the worst of cars, you forget where you sent it after a while. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I go to the tire. I walk over to the tire place. I get in the car, and I almost just throw up everywhere. I'm like, huh. Because it's all the shit that had been in there cooked for a good week. So I rolled the windows down, sprayed fucking Lysol all over everything, and said, fuck it, I'm going to drive it, and we're going to get it towed to the detail lot. So I drove it back to our location, left the windows open, closed the car, and went in. And I went to my manager. I was like, "Here's the key. Don't make me get in that car again." She's like, "What was it?" And I was like, "It was that one that came back with the shit in the coffee mug." Anyways, we had to send that one to another city to get it detailed. I don't know what happened to it. It never came back. It probably went to a different location, went on rent. But I feel extraordinarily sorry for the detail guy that had to work on that car, because it was like they had, like, you know how there's people who live in their cars, right? And that's kind of disgusting after a while if they're not clean. It was like, imagine somebody did that, but they were also like the dirtiest person you'd ever met. Like pig pen levels of filthy. That's what it was like.
Just like literally Danny DeVito, I'm the trash man.
Yeah.
or that one. God, now I just remember that one scene from It's Always Sunny where he fucking got obsessed with being clean, and he's just on the floor, just his underwear completely hairless, just covered in Purell. He just sort of looks like this weird alien fetus.
My God.
This is one. You actually remind me of another story from my work. Similar, it's kind of similar to yours. Not well, sort of similar. It's about things being left out in hot weather. So my boss has this huge lot here in Sioux Falls that, he uses to keep our trailers, and he also leases it out to other companies so they can keep their trailers in there. Like you do, it's something a lot of companies do and stuff. A lot of property owners will do. They'll lease out space to store trailers and all that stuff. Well, he had this one company who leased a couple spots from him, and and so they were using the spot for a while, and apparently what happened was he because he went down there every morning just to inspect the lot and everything, just quick drive around, make sure there's nothing out of the ordinary. And one day he wasn't able to do that until late in the afternoon, and this was like in the middle of August. There was a heat wave. It was in the upper 90s, and he noticed one of the trailers from this company was starting to swell, like starting to expand. Are you there? Are you there in bullshit? Oh, okay. You got really quiet there for a sec. So it was like, if you can imagine like a semi-trailer, like the regular white, sort of box trailer, those things aren't supposed to swell. And he kind of went up closer to it, and he saw like foam, because there's drain pipes. There's like little drain holes at all four corners of a trailer, and there was foam coming out of them. So he got hold of the company. He's like, there's something up with one of your trailers. Get somebody down here and get the fuck out of my lots. And so they went and investigated, found out, and this happened because this is such a huge company, and of course, like corporate bureaucracy and everything. What happened was they had a disgruntled truck driver who was fed up, done working for him. So what he did was he took his loaded trailer that was full of potatoes, and he dropped it in that lot. And potatoes are supposed to be kept at 40 degrees. And what he did was he dropped that at that lot, didn't tell anybody, and shut the reefer off. And 2 weeks later, hot humid August weather, 2 weeks later, my boss sees this trailer start to expand. So the company ended up having to call a hazmat cleanup crew because 42,000 pounds of potatoes were fermenting. Yeah, he said that, and I actually remember this because this was just when I started working for him, because I questioned him about why. I asked him if somebody had a still nearby, if somebody was, because it smelled like somebody was distilling alcohol, and that's what he told me. That's what it was 42,000 pounds of potatoes fermenting in the hot
ass ass sun.
Yeah, it was fucking disgusting.
That's fucking disgusting. Like that's honestly worse than what I saw in that car.
Yeah.
My coworkers got me beat though. All of them have at least once had to pull used condoms out of cars.
Oh god.
Like old used condoms that clearly been on the bottom of the car for like a really long time.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's fucking disgusting. That's hopefully they're wearing gloves while they hopefully you guys were. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we all have a box of latex gloves sitting there.
That's good. Yeah, well, how about enough of this disgusting bullshit, and how about we get on to the main topic?
Let's get on here to our main topic. Mine's first this week, and I got a title for it here that I came up with. Persona 5, this is my title by the way. Persona 5, the good, the bad, and the downright fucking retarded. So, there's some great things about the game, there's some not so great things about the game, and there's some absolutely ludicrously dumb things about the game. So I'm going to start with the downright fucking retarded. Most of you by now who follow Atlas or follow gaming media that talks about JRPGs and things like that have already heard, probably by now, that Atlas has some very strict rules about making videos and streaming their new Persona game. And I'm just gonna read off here what they've written here. This comes from this comes from Atlas USA's website in a post they made let's see, what day was this? They made this post on April 4th. Yeah, this is April 4th, the day of release of the video game. And it's a post here titled "A Note on Persona 5 and Streaming." I'm not going to read the whole thing, but maybe it's not that long. Anyways, I'll just read and I'll skip some parts that I think are stupid. Oh boy, this is a quote, "Oh boy, it's a big day for Atlas today. It took us a while," pause for a winter 2014 joke, "but Persona 5 is finally out in the West. Seriously, we poured countless hours into making the game as perfect as it can be, and words can't explain how excited we are for you all to finally be playing it. Some of you might be saying, this is totally just PR speak, but I'm telling you it's not. All of us at Atlas in Japan and America have worked very hard to make sure Persona 5 is worthy of having the Persona name. Blah, 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 we're happy it's out. Great, great, great. Okay, brass tacks here. Quote, let's talk about Persona 5 streaming and videos. Simply put, we don't want the experience to be spoiled for people who haven't played the game. Our fans have waited years for the game to come out, and we really want to make sure that they can experience it fully as a totally new adventure. Please read our video and streaming guidelines, and here's where it gets into the shit. First off, here, bullshit. No one gives a shit about spoilers. And the people who give a shit about spoilers don't watch Let's Plays. And y'all know that. Maybe your head fuckers in Japan don't know that, but Atlas USA knows that, and you don't need to feed us this kind of bullshit. Streaming guidelines, restrictions on videos has never been about keeping spoilers from the people who really want to enjoy the game. Bullshit. That right there, that's totally PR speak. Nobody believes it, and all the people I've seen talking about it on YouTube don't believe it at all. Keith Ballard, one of my favorite YouTubers, started a Let's Play day of and posted a whole 2 episodes before this thing came out, and then post a video saying, well, I guess I can't fucking do shit because Alice doesn't want me to spoil the game. Hey guys, have you ever had a problem with me spoiling games for you? No, you haven't, because I'm a Let's Player. So, the guidelines here. Some are ridiculously, like, specific, and some are really broad, and I hate that. Because it's like really broad guidelines basically is just a license for broad brushstroke banning of people from Twitch. And we all know that's what this is fucking about. But anyways, it says, do not post specific plot points or story spoilers. Only talk about the game in broad strokes. Good example. Quote, the game deals with dark themes right off the bat with a lecherous teacher and other corrupted examples. End quote. Bad example. Quote, players immediately run into trouble with a pervy teacher. You're more than welcome to talk or show confidants. That's the word for the social link in this game. The new combat, Velvet Room, all the stuff, dungeons. Please keep in mind that as a singular story playthrough, viewers are highly wary of spoilers. Yeah, if they're highly wary of spoilers, they're not gonna fucking click on Persona 4 or Persona 5 Let's Play Part 1. You're gonna fucking do that? No, you're not. Here's where it gets down to the specific shit. In-game content limit. Please limit video content through the in-game date of 7/7. So, as you all know, those of you who have played Persona is a day-by-day game. It's a visual novel that's presented as you go through the daily life of this character. The game starts, the first day of the game, I believe, is actually April 3rd. I want to say it starts in April. So they only want you to show the first 3 months of the game. 3 months of the in-game days. So that's the first specific content limit here. Video content, you can post however many additional videos you'd like. Additional videos, I assume, meaning things like, oh, here's just a side quest or whatever. Each video must be at most 90 minutes long. So you can only have a 90-minute video on Persona 5.
Wait, total or each?
Each can only be 90 minutes long. Each video. Okay. You can't make a 3-hour video. Which, by the way, a lot of people have been doing. Next point. No major story spoilers. We'll leave that up to your good judgment. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Next point. Do not show the end of any of the palaces, but you may show the first boss fight. That's Kamoshida, that's the pervy teacher. But you may not show any of the other boss encounters. You may not focus solely on cutscenes or story. You should prominently focus dungeon crawling and daily life stuff, gameplay stuff. Okay, streaming content. All the above rules apply, except the 90-minute length. If you're streaming, obviously, you can go past 90 minutes. The last point here. It says, if you decide to stream past 7/7, that's March, April, May, July 7th in the game, in parentheses, highly recommend not doing this, you have been warned, end parentheses. Quote, you do so at the risk of being issued a content ID claim or worse, a channel strike or account suspension. And then at the end here it says, that being said, and this is fucking PR talk, because we know this is bullshit, because this game has been out in Japan for a long-ass time now, and it's still like this. That being said, Persona 5 is a super special case for us, and we're in ongoing discussion about how our policies may evolve in the future. So that's
fuck you.
That I don't buy that. Now, I certainly hope that's the case, but I don't for a second buy that. So let me explain what's going on here. What's going on here is Atlas doesn't want you streaming the game. And they've made up this ludicrous reason for it to try and say that they're doing it for the best of the community, because of course that's the excuse they would come up with. And the way that they're limiting it is that they're coming up with this ludicrously complex series of rules that are basically impossible to follow. The only kind of video that fits into this mold of rules and can be coherent and well produced is a review. They have basically said you can only post reviews because they're okay with that, because everyone's going to post reviews. They can't stop that from happening. And they know that they're going to get good reviews because it's Atlas and it's a Persona game. And the game is actually pretty good. So Atlas's new streaming policy, fucking stupid. Absolutely fucking stupid. And I am pissed as hell at Atlas because this announcement has come with them going back and now striking off, content IDing, forcing deletion of, and suspending accounts of people who posted footage from previous Persona games. It has now become much more difficult to find Persona 4 video series, Persona 3 video series, and various kinds of videos from spin-off Persona 4. Persona 4 spin-off videos. That being said, Persona 1 and 2 video series, I haven't seen any of those get taken down. Those are still around, but I mean, those games are fucking old. They're from the late 90s, so. Anyways, this is dumb. I'm pissed about it, and you can see, like, Keith Ballard did a video of it. Obviously, Jim Sterling did a video of it, because of course he did. Kill Scott Kill, I believe, did a video of it. And what's his face? Not Funky G, some other guy. There have been multiple YouTube content creators who have made videos about this. Keith Ballard has been the most outspoken about it, in particular, and of course Jim Sterling did a Jimquisition about it. So if you are excited about maybe seeing a Let's Play of Persona 5, you better get in on that train and watch them real fast.
I have three theories on why this is like this, and the third one is a combination of the first two. My first theory is that they're under the piracy fallacy, where they assume that anybody who watches the game is a potential customer.
Is a lost potential customer, yeah.
Yeah, which is not the case. Which is absolutely not the case. Two, it's the same thing that's happened with Nintendo, where you have a Japanese CEOs and executives now understanding the Western markets and how vital Let's Plays and streams can be to a game. Because, like, for example, there's a hot new early access game on Steam called PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It's a battle royale style game in the vein of like DayZ or H1Z1 and stuff like that. And this game is blowing up on Steam. I think there's like 50,000 people playing it right now, which is huge. And it's created by a guy called PlayerUnknown, and he's the guy who made the Battle Royale modes for both DayZ and H1Z1. And the only reason his games are so popular and why those games are so popular and how this developer became so famous is because of streaming. Because H1Z1, DayZ, those were perfect streaming games.
Yeah.
And Battlegrounds is so popular right now because of all that. If streaming didn't exist and if Let's Plays didn't exist, who the fuck would have cared about PlayerUnknown? Nobody. I mean, well, there would have been like a couple thousand people, but it wouldn't be the number one game on Steam right now. Because of that. That's so vital. So theory 2 is that this is, the Japanese side not understanding the Western gaming market.
Yeah.
And 3, which is a combination of those two, is Atlas is owned by Sega. And
Yeah.
so
And-
it's both.
and
So
I
it's
think
both one and two.
I honestly think that it's most likely both at the same time. The thing is, you have to remember, like, Let's Playing isn't as big a thing in Japan as it is in the West. And the streaming of video games, while like there are certainly streamers in Japan, there's a lot of them. It's not as integral to video game culture there as it is here. And I would understand that, that's fine. And I really do hope that that they are actually in talks with Atlas USA to change the policy. Because if there is a series that is 100%, for me, deserving of being spread over the internet via free advertisement in the way of Let's Plays, it's the Persona series. I do not exaggerate when I say that the Persona series is my favorite series of video games.
Okay, you want another example aside from PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds?
Well,
An even more apt example?
Yeah, another example would be Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay, I wasn't going to go that way, but yeah, that's true. Five Nights at Freddy's. But a better example that more is closer to Persona 5 would be Danganronpa.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, if it wasn't for those something awful forum posts, Danganronpa would have gone nowhere. It would have never been released here.
Yeah, I mean, and the same goes for, look at, and here's the thing. Ironically, I can literally only use the word ironically. The one company that got it this time around was the one company that almost never gets it, and that was Square Enix. Final Fantasy 15 had features inside the game itself that helped you post screenshots to Twitter and Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, and they heavily encouraged you to do it, and they even had a whole in-game system for theming the posting of pictures to social media as part of the aesthetic of the game. Like they actually made that a real feature in Final Fantasy 15 because they knew that people posting short videos and posting pictures of the game on social media would lure in potential customers, and that was one of the things I remember that I don't know if I talked about it in the episode where we talked about Final Fantasy 15, but I remember that I was talking to a couple of my friends and I did do a post somewhere, I believe on Tumblr, about Final Fantasy 15. That was one of the things where I said this is one of the biggest successes they've ever had in marketing. What an excellent idea this was, and I can't believe I'm saying that about Square Enix. And the weird thing is we have a lot of Atlus fans have for years said that Atlus does things with video games that Square Enix is too afraid to do. And that is true, except this time they've backpedaled in a very strange and unexpected way. And it's disappointing.
Yeah, it used to be before we called Atlus the new Square Enix.
Yeah, we call them the king of JRPGs because for a time they might have been.
Yeah, and this I'm hoping they resolve this because I am eventually gonna play Persona 5. I know I am because I played the previous ones and I don't have a whole lot to say to them. I'm not as big a fan as you and many other people are, but I recognize the fact that they're incredible games and they're very interesting games, and they just we're in a world right now where watching other people play games can make or break whether a game is successful or not. That's the way the West works now. And if these Japanese companies want to compete, they need to fucking realize that. And I'm not saying all Japanese companies. A lot of the Capcom gets it. fucking Platinum gets it. Square Enix is finally starting to get it. You know, it's just ultimately it's Sega and Nintendo that need to pull their heads out of their asses,
And sometimes Squeenix.
and sometimes Squeenix, you know, but they've been pretty good. They handle Final Fantasy 15 very well, and as a publisher, they've handled Nier Automata very well as well. With, yeah, but yeah, that's really unfortunate. That's really fucking unfortunate, you know. But you know, listening to you read that post, that sounds like somebody at Atlas USA going like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Oh,
yeah, and
right,
that was what Keith Ballard, one of the Let's Players I follow on YouTube, said that about the post. He said it really, honestly, this post is worded like someone at Atlas USA can't believe they have to write it.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, like you said, I'm hoping that it gets resolved. Anyways, let me move on here to in the good, the bad, the downright fucking retarded. Let's move away from the downright fucking retarded and move into the bad. The things about the game that I think are hideously disappointing. And it may surprise you not at all to say that this is the shortest part of my current in progress review of Persona 5. My biggest complaint with Persona 5: why the fuck is it not on Vita?
Yeah, it's not even on Vita in Japan
or
Asia.
Why? It's on PS3. I don't buy it for a second that it would have been too difficult to port to Vita. I don't buy that for a second. What made Persona 4 Golden so great was not that it was a remake and not that they redid the voice actresses, because honestly, Chie's voice in that game was fucking awful. And it wasn't the new music, it wasn't the additions to the campaign. Those were all great. What made that game so good was that it was on a handheld. And that in a game that's long and doesn't respect your time and expects you to sit down for a really long time between save points, the best part of that game was being able to press a button and put your feet in sleep mode and put it in your pocket and go back to doing work when you had to, you know, or when you're getting off the bus, you know, and you got to start walking. That was so great with Persona 4 Golden. It was a godsend, because, you know, one of the things that I've started to agree more and more with a lot of people who, you know, who are getting older and still reviewing games, is that it's great that there are handhelds, because I don't want to sit on a couch for 7 hours a day anymore.
We got jobs.
Yeah,
we
have jobs, we have lives, and it's not comfortable to do that anymore like it was when I was in college, you know. And I'm so disappointed, and I know why. It's because the Vita's just not getting the support anymore because it didn't sell well, and I get it, you know. But still, it's still a disappointment. The other complaint I have a lot all the time. They introduced a stealth system into the dungeons, and it was great. I love the stealth system, but the camera controls don't keep up with it. And you have to basically hump your mini-map to watch the positions of enemies, because if you're not paying attention to your mini-map, you'll just open a door and whoop, you tripped the alarm. Because there's an enemy standing right there, and you didn't know which way he was facing, but when you open a door, your character stands there and opens the door, and then stands there, and you can't move to the side of the door fast enough to not get seen by the enemy. And it just the camera and the haphazard way they introduce the mechanic of opening doors and opening gates is, in a word, frustrating. In another word, disappointing. Because, you know, I thought they'd be better at coming up with that mechanic. It's a shame. And now with that's my complaints about the game. Let's move into the good. Literally everything else. I was I was scared when the release date for Persona 5 was coming up, because, and I know we talked about GameStop in an earlier episode, and how GameStop's business practices and their treatment of their employees is, less than subpar. But the employee at my local GameStop, and I swear that it's not just because she was really cute, but the employee at my local GameStop wheedled me into pre-ordering the Steelbook edition of Persona 5, which is just Persona 5, but with a metal case. She almost got me to buy the Take Your Heart edition, which comes with an art book and a bunch of other stuff, but that one was going to be over $100, and I didn't have the money at the time, and I almost regret it, but then I always remind myself that I would have been pre-ordering something really expensive from GameStop, and then I just sort of, that's how I justify not having it. I really wish I had the art book. I'm probably going to end up buying it, from a scalper or something. The case is really nice. The Steelbook edition case is really nice. It is a metal case, and it has a very, very shiny art on it. That's absolutely wonderful. I'll send you a picture later. You guys can just Google Persona 5 Steelbook edition, and you can see a picture of the cover art. It's fantastic. But I was scared because I had sunk, at that point, I had sunk $70 into a video game. Because it was $10 more for the Steelbook, so this is what, $79.99, for a video game, and the hype train was really going, and I kind of bought into it because it's Persona, and I fucking love the series, and I was getting really scared because, when the hype train really gets rolling, you always think of Duke Nukem Forever. At least for me,
Yeah.
That's the first thing that comes to mind when the hype train really gets rolling. And of course, I could, at that time, I could have just looked at the reviews for the Japanese version, because the Japanese version had been out for a long time. I could have looked at the Famitsu reviews, and all of those, but I didn't want to, because I didn't want to spoil a single fucking thing for myself. I didn't even look at trailers until the week before the game was released in America. I didn't. And then of course at that point I also watched maybe a little bit of part of a Let's Play before they got taken down, because I wanted to see what the combat system looked like. And then I watched every single fucking trailer all in the same day. It was bad. I got really bad. Anyways, I was scared that it wouldn't live up to the various expectations that the game had placed on it, and I will say this: if you hand wave or try really hard to forget about the absolutely ludicrous bullshit they've pulled with YouTube and streaming, the game is phenomenal. Shoji Meguro is back once again with an absolutely fantastic soundtrack. I'll post some tracks. I think I posted a couple tracks to you, and I can't remember. I'll post them on Tumblr, because the soundtrack is really good. It's very, very, very good. It's like a continuation of Persona 4, but with a new singer this time, and a lot more aggressive rock, a lot more jazz. Fantastic. The art style is imagine Victorian era gentleman thieves, but then also modern Tokyo street graffiti all rolled into one. It's such a weird style, but it works really well. Sound design is phenomenal. Dungeon design is phenomenal. The battle system, they did this thing where, and those of you who've played JRPGs before, you'll know what I'm talking about. When you have a JRPG and you have the turn-based battle system, and you play the game in a menu, with the battle system, where it's you have your little menu that says attack, defend, other, item, and you're really just playing from that menu. The way that they do the menu in Persona 5, instead of going, X to accept, and then you use the directional pad to select your action, each action is bound to a key, or to a button rather. And so it plays as close to an action game as a turn-based JRPG can. because you press a different button for each kind of action, and the feedback is instantaneous. It's really fast, and you can switch targets in the middle of an attack. When you take out your gun, you can attack as many times as you have bullets, so you can alternate between attacks and target different enemies and shoot them twice or whatever. And it's just like there's no way I can describe it other than it's the closest to an action game a turn-based JRPG can be, because that's really the only way it can be described. Like because the feedback is instantaneous. I posted a picture of what the battle system looks like in our Discord there, and you'll see each action has its own button that's assigned to it. Which is really cool. It's a very slick battle system. But when you break it down to its most core components, it's the same battle system as it's always been. You know, you got your weaknesses, you hit the weakness, you get another turn, you got your all-out attacks when all the enemies are downed. They brought back Demon Negotiation, which they've had in SMT for a long time, and they used to have in the Persona games, where if you beat an enemy in a submission, you get an opportunity to, instead of killing them, negotiate with them in what's called a hold-up, because the whole theme of the game is gentlemen thieves. You have a gun and you hold them, you stick them up basically, and you can extort money out of them or get items from them, or you can also ask them to join you as a summonable persona. And that's how you get your personas in this game. It's a mechanic they added back in that they haven't had since the first Persona game.
Every time you say Gentlemen Thieves, I automatically think of Lies of Locke Lamora.
Yeah.
Such a good book. That's such a good book.
So background on this, and I'm only going to go on for a little bit more about this game. I don't want to spoil too much of this game, obviously, because I'm afraid this video might get taken down if I do.
Well, don't worry. When I tag these, I only tag them as like FAPCast, podcast, and for people who are a bit older, the GCC.
Yeah.
That's all I tag. I don't tag anything else.
But I am about 7 hours into the game. I have finished the first dungeon, finished the tutorial, and finished the first chapter of the proper story. So I can give you guys an idea of the kind of thing it's about. Persona 4, the previous game, was a game about there's this murder mystery, and there's this guy who was throwing people into this alternate world where the shadows lived, which was the dark parts of humanity. And he was killing them by putting them in this world and making them face their dark other self, and they would succumb to their dark other self, and it would kill them. And that was how he was killing them, was he was throwing them into the shadow realm, basically, and letting the shadows kill them. And you played as this group of kids who were exceptionally resilient. And the whole idea was that when, instead of being killed by their shadow selves, they accepted their shadow selves as a part of them, and that gave them the power to summon their other selves to fight. And the whole idea was that it was this game where you had to confront the parts of yourself that you hated or that you were afraid of. And you had a character who was secretly gay, and he hated himself for it, and he had to confront his other self and accept that he wasn't normal in his gender preferences. And you had a character who hated the town that he lived in, but didn't ever want to tell anyone that, and he had to accept that he was kind of a dick to other people and stuff like that. In Persona 5, it's a little different. In order to gain the power to summon your persona, you have to find within yourself what they call the will of your rebellion. So, for example, and that will allow you to summon your persona, and the personas are all themed after famous thief, pirate characters from operas, books, real life. So, for example, there's a character who gets backed into a corner and finally says, he's about to die, and he finally says, "No, I'm not going to let you kill me. This is bullshit." And just because, and at this point he's talking to an adult, he's like, "Just because I'm a kid and you're an adult doesn't mean you get to push me around like this." And he becomes able to summon his inner persona, which is Captain Kidd, the pirate. And let me find a picture for you. You guys can Google Persona 5 Captain Kidd. The design for the persona is fucking amazing. You'll laugh at this. And instead of fighting the shadows of people who the shadows are trying to kill them, you're going into this other realm and fighting the shadows of really shitty people. And
holy shit!
The whole point. Yeah, I just sent him to make a picture of Captain Kidd.
Oh my god! That's... oh my god! He's using a pirate ship as like a skateboard.
Yeah, he's literally just this like skeleton pirate with a cannon arm surfing on a miniature pirate ship.
Oh my god!
It's a great design. I love it. And so basically, you're this kid who tried to, and this is not really spoilers. This is like the very beginning of the game. You're this kid who, in his previous hometown, was walking home from school and saw this man sexually harassing this woman, and he was drunk, trying to force her to get into a cab with him, presumably so that he could take her home, rather to his home. And you step in and you intervene, and there's a scuffle, and the man becomes injured. And then it turns out he is a very influential politician who has the local police in his pocket. He has you arrested, and he sues you.
That's not good.
And you are arrested and then sued. And so they send you to Tokyo, to another school, because you get expelled from your school. As a result, they send you to another school in Tokyo where you live with this older gentleman who takes care of you, and basically say, "You're on probation, fuck up one more time, and you're in jail." And then you get to this school, and you find out, while you're there, while you're trying to be an honest student with your head down and trying not to bring any attention to yourself, you discover that there is a teacher sexually abusing his female students and physically abusing his male students, and he's a gym teacher.
All right.
And you find out that you can go into this alternate world and go into this, they call it a palace, this dungeon that is representative of his mind. And if you go in there and you steal away his heart, his desires, in the real world, he will lose all his desire to do the evil things that he does, and his conscience will kick in and he'll confess to his crimes. And so the story itself, instead of being about solving this murder mystery and becoming one with your inner self, it's this rising up, youth empowerment, rising up against these shitty adults who are abusing their power and position and stealing their hearts to force them to become better people. And there's a lot more to it than that, but that's the basic outline of the general first half of the game. And it's just like Persona 4, they don't shy away from anything. Like it is quite not explicitly stated, but it's not even in a roundabout way. It's like it's just stated, like he is trying to extort sex out of his female students. He is beating the shit out of his male students on a daily basis, and they are showing signs of physical injury. He broke a kid's leg. He broke a kid's arm. He gave a kid a concussion. And at one point he drives a female student to suicide. Attempted suicide. They haven't mellowed out the series yet, and I don't expect that they will. But that's all I'm gonna say about the game for now. I might talk about the game one more time when I finish it. But if I do that again, it will have to be if Atlas lifts their blanket ban on spoilers. Because if I do talk about the game again, it will be after I've played it, and it will not be spoiler-free at all. So, the good, the bad, the absolutely fucking retarded. 1, it's a great game. A lot of critics are saying it's the best in the series. A lot of critics are saying it's the epitome of the genre. A lot of critics are saying that it's proof that Square Enix was wrong, and that turn-based JRPGs still work in the modern market. And a lot of critics have been saying that it's proof that many publishers are wrong, that you can make a linear story-based non-open world game, and it will still be good. And all of those critics are 100% right. Right. It's a phenomenal game. The bad, fucking control system. Fucking frustrating dungeon design sometimes. And why the fuck isn't it on Vita? The absolutely fucking retarded. Atlas's streaming policy. Y'all can look it up. Atlas.com. You can see the post with what they wrote exactly were the guidelines. It's dumb. It's dumb. I'm disappointed. We're all disappointed about it.
You think if they didn't want you to stream it, they would just release it on the Vita.
Shit, man, I'd forgive a lot of things if they just released it on Vita.
Yeah, dude, I love my Vita. I love my Vita. It's a good little system. You know, I just wish it wasn't dead. Well, it's not dead. It's not dead. It's just dead here in the States. And if I want good games,
in the
I just
States,
have to go to play. Yeah, if I want good games, I just have to go to Play Asia and get the Asian version. Yeah, but that's just that's fucking retarded. Persona. Not Persona. Alice, fix your shit. So. Hey,
all right, well, I've talked for quite a bit of time, so why don't you take us into this topic that you forwarded for this week here, second in our main topic list.
Yeah, so this is just... Well, there's been a lot of YouTube drama going on, especially with, like, demonetization and advertisers pulling out and all that stuff. But I'm not going to talk about this. This is just a little bit of drama that's been happening that I think serves a very good moral message. Now, there's these two general camps among millions of camps on YouTube. There's sort of the skeptic community, the anti-social justice warrior community. You can maybe lump them in together a little bit. And then there's like the people who are against those people. It's not that they're like anti-science or anything. It's just they're specifically against that community or whatever you would call. So like the one side has like Sargon of Akkad, Armored Skeptic, Undoomed, bearing a bunch of other people, and then the other side is like is a group of people who I don't really follow because I don't like them, I don't agree with them or anything. But basically, one of the things they'd like to get on is they want there to be... What they basically want is they want forms of censorship to keep people from harassing and bullying other people. They want limits on like what you can say, what you can do, and stuff like that. So, and they sort of been, and basically what happened, one of these people, one of the more prominent people in this group is this feminist called Christy Winters. And she's been very critical of people like Bering and Sargon of Akkad, and their contradictions and stuff they do. Even though I like those people, I will admit that they fuck things up sometimes, and I disagree with them on a lot of things. So the gist of what happened was, about a week ago, Sargon posted up a video, and Christy Winters posted up a response to it, and her response was she basically took a clip where Sargon says something and then like a minute later contradicts himself. And so she made a video, a very short video, basically making fun of him for doing this obvious logical fallacy. And somebody, not Sargon, somebody else went and filed a community guideline complaint against Christy Winters, and her video was struck down and taken down and forced taken down, and now she's got a strike against her channel, which is very bad. It means she's very limited on what she can do and all this stuff. And I'm seeing two things happen here. I'm seeing people who are against her say, good, you made your bed, now fucking sleep in it. And you're seeing other people who are also on that side of not liking her saying, this is bullshit, you know, we gotta help her get her channel back. And I think a lot of people are missing I think a lot of people are starting to miss what is going on here. And I just like to say I'm of the group, I don't like Christy Winter, I don't like her content. I think she's kind of an asshole and a prick. But I think she has a right to express her opinion. And she shouldn't get shut down like this. And whoever fucking did this is a fucking asshole and little bitch. And even like Sargon has come out and said, this is fucking bullshit. Why'd you do this?
That's abusing YouTube content guidelines system, which they don't fucking moderate. And we all know that they don't moderate that shit.
That's
abusing it to dispel free speech. Nice job.
Yeah, and so because I'm starting to see, because you got response videos from like Sargon, from Kraut T, from Skeptor, and a bunch of other people going and saying like, look, this is fucking wrong. Shit, and they're responding to their own fans saying, look, just because you don't fucking like her, just because you hate her fucking opinion, or just because you fucking hate her, does not give you the right to praise her being silenced like this. So yeah, it's like, look, free speech, when we advocate for free speech, that means we advocate for everybody, even if they're free, even if what they talk about isn't something we agree with or I agree with. If somebody says something I don't agree with, they have every right to say it. I don't have to listen to them. I can criticize them, but I don't have the right to silence them. That's one of my fundamental beliefs. Now, what I will say for people on Christy Winter's side and for Christy Winter herself, she should probably take this moment, and I think she's going to get her channel back. She's gotten widespread support from a ton of other YouTubers calling, because this is obvious bullshit. But I think this is something that people on her side, including herself, should take into consideration, because like I said before, she's been an advocate of censoring certain types of language because of like harassment and bullying and hate speech and stuff. And I think she needs to realize that kind of censorship she advocated for helped put her in this position, because that was the community guideline strike was for bullying. YouTube interpreted her video, because it not only was it automatically struck down once that complaint was sent, she sent it off for review, and it came back, and they still enforced the strike,
saying that it was in fact bullying.
Yes. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is, people on that side, you're advocating for this stuff, and I know your heart's in the right place. I mean, well, you think your heart's in the right place, but that's but what I'm trying to say is, like, these rules apply to everybody. Free speech, what I'm basically trying to say is free speech should needs to apply to everybody for it to work. Likewise, censorship only works if it's applied to everybody. So that's basically what I'm trying to say. This is something that I think both sides need to consider when they're advocating for these things. If you want people to not hurt other people's feelings, you need to realize that those rules apply to you as well. Likewise, if you're advocating for free speech and that anybody should be able to say what they want as long as it doesn't, if you're advocating for free speech, that means giving people who you don't like the right to speak as well. And that's pretty much all. It's my topic is a lot shorter than yours, but that's
the basic thing is like, look, you can't have progress without a dialogue. And I'm not, and that is not to say that I'm advocating for hate speech. That's different.
No, none of us are advocating for hate speech.
Hate speech is a completely different topic, and the discussion of where the line is between free speech and hate speech is a topic for a podcast, not ours.
Yeah, not ours. What all I'm trying to say is that you have to take the bad with the good. If you're advocating a certain position, you have to consider all aspects of it, and just be prepared for that. Be prepared for the consequences.
The long and short of what I think that the point here is that, like I said, progress doesn't happen without dialogue. And progress without dialogue, as we have seen many times in history and in, I don't know, the past year, progress without dialogue is usually bad. I mean, fucking shit, look at Atlas's streaming policy. No one fucking talked to them about that. And I can almost guarantee to you that if we sat down and had a discussion with them, that policy would change. Now, I'm not saying it would change by being removed. It may become even more restricted, but it would change. And that doesn't happen until you sit down and you have a dialogue. And, now I'm not one for call-out posts and call-out videos, and I don't really like getting involved with that kind of stuff. Not anymore. Used to all the time.
We've kind of chilled out from that
podcast. Not anymore.
And when we did call-outs, it was usually in regards to, hey, if we don't do this, a lot of people are going to have wasted vacation time and wasted a lot of money kind of call-outs.
Yeah. And I think that, there's a time and place for everything, and sometimes, it's fine to make call posts. Not something I would do. I don't like making call-outs, but, there's a place for that kind of thing. Obviously there is, because there are channels that the people who run them make a living doing that. And that's fine. And there is a point at which that can become bullying. But the specific instance that you're talking about here, that got moderated, and they continued to uphold the bullying point, to me is kind of stupid.
Yeah, this just came off as just really fucking stupid, and the thing is, like, the video has been mirrored on other YouTube channels, and you go watch it, and all it is like, Sargon makes a mistake, an obvious mistake, a mistake he should have fucking known better, and she mocks him for it, and it's criticism and it's mockery, but it's no worse than what anybody else does in response to. It's no worse than what like Pyrocynical does, or H3H3 does, or
it's not any worse than the fucking shit that people lob at EA on a daily basis.
Yeah, exactly. It's no different. It's just a case of. And like I said before, like when you go to these response videos from known skeptics and anti-social justice people, who have large fan bases, of varying degrees. Some are, moderates, and some are very extreme, like almost like pretty much like alt-righters and stuff. And you have these people saying, like, look, this is fucking wrong. It doesn't matter whether or not we like this person. This is fucking wrong. We need to stand up for her. and we need to stand up against this. You go down in the comics section, and everybody's like, well, she made her fucking bed, now she can fucking sleep, and it's like, no, we can't. You can't just take and pick and
That's
choose.
not how this works. You don't get to choose what gets through free speech and what doesn't. You know, you let other people at a higher level decide that for you. You shut the fuck up.
And
listen.
It's bullshit. And it's just something that it really annoys me. And it's just something that needs to be discussed, and a resolution, hopefully, in bringing those channels back. And again, I think it's healthy. It's healthy because what this also promotes is echo chambers, and I think it's very healthy to listen to different viewpoints. Because you can either learn something, or it can it reinforces and validates your opinion and your side. That's why I think and that's why I think this is just fucking bullshit. Again, I said it like 15 times, but yeah, that's basically what it is. As far as like the whole demonetization thing, that's a much widespread problem, and I will just say right now, thank God YouTube is just a hobby for me, because I would be fucking panicking right now with what's going on. So yeah, hopefully that shit gets sorted out. So let me just say, how I told you about that medicine I got?
Mm-hmm.
That tagline, that secondary title, Express Max, doesn't fucking lie. Holy shit.
You feeling it, Mr. Krabs? Hold on. Tell me what that shit's called again, dude. Because I know I'm gonna get sick at least once. This fucking with the shit that I see in rental cars on a daily basis and touch, dude. I know I'm gonna get fucking sick, dude. What is it called again?
It's called Theraflu Express Max cough syrup.
Express Max. Nighttime.
Yeah, nighttime. You
that's some good shit.
Get it like in the pharmacy for like $10 or something.
Shit, I'm gonna bookmark this so I know. I know I'm gonna get sick this year. I can fucking feel it.
Let me just say, that was one of the most brilliant marketing schemes I ever saw, was when the creators of NyQuil realized that most of the time people didn't buy NyQuil because they had a cold. So they went and introduced Zzzquil.
Zzzquil?
Yeah, which is none of the cold medicine, just the fucking alcohol.
Just the fucking little bit of alcohol and the diphenhydramine. You could achieve the same result by taking an eyedropper of whiskey, putting it on your tongue, and then taking Benadryl.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it wouldn't taste like grape flavor.
Let me just say, I'm really glad they put that awful aftertaste in there, because I remember when I was a kid, if my parents didn't lock away the Dimetapp, I would have drank the entire bottle.
And you would have fucking died, yeah.
And yeah, because Dimetapp tastes fucking awesome.
I remember that shit.
yeah, Dimetapp tasted great, and it was just like, yeah, it tastes great, and keep this shit locked away because your kids will get at it, because it tastes good.
All right, with that, I think we can move on into our cool shit segment.
Yeah, let's do that.
Since you're about to fall asleep, or you're high or whatever.
I'm drowsy. I'm definitely drowsy.
All right. As always, our cool shit segment is where we link things that we think are really cool that we think you guys should check out. It's unrelated to our main topic segment. You can find all the cool shit that we link, as well as anything else we link during the course of the show, in our show notes, which are posted in the YouTube description box for the YouTube videos where our episodes are. I'm still working on getting the archive started, guys. I'll figure it out some way.
Yeah, we'll figure this out. We'll get this shit sorted out. Never. It's like with me, it's like with me with our release schedule, it's like the first like 2 episodes, bam, bam, Sunday, then it's like, oh shit, Monday.
Oh fuck,
then,
we have other things we have to do.
Oh fuck, it's Wednesday, shit. It's Thursday. Next week's gonna be Friday, and then hey, we're back to Sunday now, yay!
Alright, as always, I'll start us off with the cool shit. We have 2 pieces of cool shit each this time, just like we usually do. My first piece of cool shit is a manga. I was going to link a place where you could read it online, but I am a firm believer in supporting artists when you can, and this one has actually been licensed in America, so
This is a good manga.
Yeah. This one has actually been licensed in America, so I am only linking the Wikipedia article, though all of you fuckers who read manga, you know where you can get it illegally. And this manga is called Nurse Hitomi's Monster Infirmary, and I have never been more impressed with an ecchi manga before. The general outline of this story is there's a nurse who is a cyclops, and she works in a school in the main infirmary, and she's the head nurse. And she's just a school nurse. But the people who come to her for help are these teenagers who are going through puberty, and part of puberty is they're evolving into monster people. And this can be something as simple as one day a girl's tongue starts growing, and it turns out she's kind of a frog girl. And she has to deal with having this really long tongue. And Nurse Hitomi is this character who sort of helps them through the process of their bodies changing into these things that they're unfamiliar with, and helps them gain their self-confidence back. And the whole, like, them becoming monster characters is really just an allegory for puberty. But it's a really cute...
It's all a little too subtle, man.
But the manga itself is really cute. It is kind of ecchi, but the story is really good. The characters are really good, and I think that the theming of the manga, this whole story about coming of age and dealing with bodily changes, is really well put together. So it's Nurse Hitomi's Monster Infirmary. Definitely check it out. Seven Seas Entertainment is handling the American version of it, so you can actually purchase that in stores now.
Let me just say I read the scanlations before it was licensed. I wholeheartedly endorse this manga. It's some people got the assumption that this was sort of like a sister manga to Monster Musume, because Nurse Hitomi was in a piece, because I guess the artist for this one and the artist for Monster Musume sort of did a collab piece, and people just assumed that they were like sister publications, and they're not. They're just like both really big fans of each other. This is completely different from Monster Musume.
Yes,
and it's very good, very, 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 very good. The story about the girl who falls apart. She's like she's not
the kind of zombie / Frankenstein girl. Yeah.
Her story with her grandfather. That was a really, really nice story. I really like that one. It's been a few years since I read this, so I don't remember the particulars, but I remember really enjoying her story with her grandpa. So, yeah, definitely recommend this. I endorse it as well. All right, on to my first cool thing. This is something I just discovered today, but I'm just completely fascinated by it. It's a Let's Play channel that's hosted by a sort of by an anime girl. Yeah, it's what this is. And people are trying to and there's right now people are trying. It's really blowing up, especially here in the States or here in the West, because people are trying to figure out what this is like. Is this Is this just an experiment? Is somebody testing out a piece of AI software, or is this somebody doing a let's play and then just using an anime avatar? Is this sort of like a corporate marketing stunt? People aren't really all that sure, or whether it's sort of like some kind of like Google DeepMind AI sort of thing going on. People are just trying to figure out. Regardless of that, this is like my favorite Let's Play channel by far. Because I don't know why. I'm just like really fascinated by it. Yeah.
This is really weird. This is like that. This is like that. Was it from Puerto Rico or Costa Rica or I can't remember. It was a virtual YouTuber in Spanish.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I think the Night Minds channel did a video on them. It was like, it ended up being some sort of like an ARG or something.
Yeah, and it was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... But, yeah, this... I don't know, for some reason this just is really fascinating to me. It's... I've either gotten... when people see it, I've either seen them be, like, really just enthralled with it, or just totally fucking creeped out by it. So, I guess it's hit or miss, and... just check it out for yourself, and... see if you can figure out, because it sort of seems to be a big thing of like trying to figure out what exactly this is and what kind of technology they're using. So yeah, go check it out.
All right, brings it up to my second piece of cool shit. My second piece of cool shit is d20pfsrd.com, which is a one of many open gaming websites where it's basically a wiki for an entire D20 system, which in this case is Pathfinder. So this is sort of like, do you want to play Pathfinder but you're fucking poor and can't afford the books? Well, congratulations. Here's all the rules, all the races, and a forum for helping you DM. And they've got everything in here. How ability scores works, what the alignment system is, help in creating characters, all the core classes, all the base classes, all the alternate classes, all the hybrid classes, all of the core races, all of the expansion races. And then they have a whole section for game masters or DMs with advice. They have the whole bestiary, all the equipment stats and everything. So this is basically all the information that's in the core rule books and the expansion rulebooks for Pathfinder in a much easier to access wiki-style text website here. So for anyone who is interested in checking out a tabletop game, Pathfinder is excellent. I can't recommend it enough, and here is a great resource for you to start, whether you're a player or a potential prospective dungeon master.
How? Okay, I'm not going to question how this is still up.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know myself how this site is still up.
Because this is... Holy shit, dude. This is comprehensive. Oh my fucking god. Wow. Wow, Warhammer needs something like this. Oh my god. Okay, here's an idea for what these tabletop gaming companies can do to sort of like secure and end piracy, or not end piracy, but sort of subvert it, I guess. Take sites like these and put them behind a subscription paywall, like $5 a month. You get access to this wiki, everything in it, for $5 a month, and just do it like that. Or you could buy the books, spend all the money on the books, and you keep it yours forever. But make a subscription for all the rules and all the source books and everything, and just put it behind a paywall. They would make so much fucking money doing that.
They would make so much money.
Especially like companies like Games Workshop with Warhammer and Warhammer 40K. I mean, hey, there's an idea. Fucking take it. Run with it. I don't care. Because yeah, this is really fucking handy. And for like especially like games like Warhammer and Warhammer 40K, and hell, even like GURPS or God forbid, fucking Rifts. That horrible system could fucking make you. The only reason I ever picked up a Rifts book was to read the lore, because I thought the lore was pretty interesting. Otherwise, that fucking system is garbage. But yeah, this is fucking cool. Yeah, hopefully it stays up. Hopefully it stays up, because this is very, very handy. I'll be sure not to never bring this up whenever I go down to Dragon's Den, because I'm pretty sure they would be very upset if they knew this existed. They make most of their money off of Magic cards, so they probably really don't care. All right, so my final cool thing is I actually put it in there because of an earlier discussion we had regarding a piece of artwork I made. And then bullshit knows why, because he just clicked on it. This guy isn't a Let's Player. He's actually a Twitch streamer. He streams a lot of like Arma and DayZ and Space Engineers and stuff like that. And he's your typical funny guy, Twitch streamer and stuff. But so what he does is he does his YouTube channel, and he takes highlights from his streams of particular funny moments, and then he captions them and posts them up on YouTube. And one thing, they're all incredibly funny, especially when he's with his friend Cyanide. Just hilarity ensues. But what really sort of ties this all up and makes it incredible is the way he captions everything. Because he does a really good job, because again, this is on Twitch and stuff, and they're playing like Arma and CSGO and DayZ and all that, and there's often a lot of talking between people. So when somebody says something funny, or when he or Cyanide or Tom or somebody says something funny, if you don't have the captions, you won't hear what they said. But so he puts the captions in there, so he points out what they said, makes it really awesome. And he also does motion typography, so like if there's a lot of people talking, they're all saying funny shit, he'll put like the text of what they said in front of them and moves around with them and stuff. And he also uses motion typography for like when somebody is like being a sniper, is like a sniper, and they miss their target by a wide margin. You'll see just this little pew go across the screen and just go, it'd be nowhere near the target. He the way he does captions is just fucking wonderful. It's incredible. My favorite video by far is his most recent video where he streamed himself playing Far Cry 3. And he there was a couple things he did that was fucking hilarious. He apparently almost all the locals were constantly screaming and running away from him for a short while, because he was violent, because that's the way the AI works, is that if there's violence nearby, the people are just terrified, and if you have a gun, they just fucking run away from you. That's just the way the AI works. But he plays it up, but it's like, oh man, now I know what it feels like to be... He's like, this is because I'm white, isn't it? God, now I know how it feels. And then the other part was, there was some pirates who raced up to him, and they hit a tree, and he's just like, oh shit, and he like pulls out his handgun and shoots the driver, but the bullet glitches out and just ricochets inside the car. So you just see this car just turn fucking red from all the sprayed blood, and there he is with his little caption typography. So you see this little pew just go flying around inside the car. It's just so. If you just need a laugh, just go fucking watch watch one of his videos. Any one of his videos, they're fucking awesome and amazing. So yeah, go check him out. Also, his OC is a Womble. So yeah. So yeah, that's all I got for cool things. And I think you're done with your cool things. Yeah, I think we can call this a wrap.
All right, and with that, we wrap up this week's episode. I almost numbered the episode. I keep forgetting. We can't do that. We wrap up this week's episode of FAPCast. We completely forgot to introduce ourselves at the beginning. We completely forgot to say the title of the podcast, or the name of the podcast, rather, at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh well, y'all fucking know who we are. If you don't, it doesn't matter.
Who cares?
You're still listening, so. Our podcast Tumblr. Our podcast Tumblr, which is our main blog for our podcast, where we do most of our blogging and whatnot, is fapcast.tumblr.com. I'm in bullshit. I have a Tumblr, and I have a Twitter, and I have a YouTube, and they're all under my name, mbullshit, MBULSHT.
And the same with me. All my socials are in the show notes as well, including the YouTube channel, which you're watching this video on right now, so that's fucking weird. Yeah. Bye.